This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Egman here with another video, and today we've got my Titamon Loop list. This is the one that I took to Gyro-Sean's Win-A-Mat tournament this past week, and I do like this list a lot, but obviously after playing it and seeing how it compares to the meta, there are some changes I would make to this as well. So we're going to talk about this list specifically. We're going to look at the second list that I made afterwards, after seeing, honestly, security control. That matchup I feel is really hard, and we're not really teched against it, so I wanted to try to get a better list, to more well-rounded, get some chances for that list, and then kind of go from there. So pretty much the idea of this list is to kind of abuse how good Titamon is. So this has a card effect. When digivolving, you trash one card from your hand. Then you may play one purple level 4 or lower Digimon from your trash without paying its memory cost. And then once per turn, when you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, this Digimon gets plus 2 KDP and security attack plus 1, which is not only, he gets that, but if you digivolve into a Zwart gains those as well, which is really, really nice. And honestly, the effect of the digivolving has a lot of synergy for what this deck and kind of the thing going for it. And I'll be honest, when I first looked at BT6 and saw all these cards, I didn't think Titamon was super good, and I didn't think like the Ginkuamon, and Promote package was really good either. I just felt like it was a little bit too situational for what it was doing, and kind of hard to set up the pieces for it. But man, I was super duper wrong, and I've been enjoying this list outright. And the main kind of addition for this is that Promote just adds the kind of aggression and that little bit of extra memory or card draw that the deck needs to really be good. So kind of how this card works is that it's a level 4 with Rush, which is already pretty good. You can digivolve on a top of a level 3 for 2 or a level 4 for 1, which is nice for that. And then also, on play, you place a Ginkuamon and Ginkuamon from your trash and the evolution cards in any order. And if you place 2 cards with this effect, you get to draw 1 and gain a memory, which is great. That memory gain is definitely what makes it go from good for great. Just because, let's say you have your Titamon, you digivolve it for 4, and you only have 3 memory, because 3 is normally the memory you get. Well, you can discard a card and then play the Ginkuamon Promote for free. And then if you have these 2 cards in your drop area, which you can help set up just by trashing a card with this effect, you're able to get that memory. You get to keep it on your turn. You get the card draw. Also, just the fact that if this card does have both these cards underneath it, you gain a memory every time this card swings, just because the Ginkuamon has when attacking, you trash 1 card from your hand to delete one of your opponent's level 3. And this just has, inherited your turn once per turn. When you trash a card in your hand with one of your effects, you gain a memory. Honestly, this Ginkuamon is the best one of them all. Promote is great, and if you could just do the Ginkuamon and the Promote by itself, we'd be fine. Ginkuamon can be a little clumsy at times, but one, you can hardcast her for 4, which is actually very good for a 5-cost Digimon, and you also can pop rookies with it, which if you're playing against something a little bit more aggressive, a rookie rushy, just being able to spend energy or spend cards in hand, which is a really high resource in this deck anyways, to pop cards, I think is fine for what you're doing. So I really like the interactions with that. The only thing that stinks about this is that level 4 is normally where you put your blockers and your easy evos, and we don't get that with this deck. But honestly, I've never really found myself at a lot of energy disadvantage. We get a lot of floating memory for what we're doing. Ginkuamon is so good at it, especially since 2 of our level 5s are Lady Devimon and Rebellymon. Both these trash cards when they digivolve, and because of that, that means that if you have Ginkuamon underneath it, you become a digivolve for 2, which is great. And then also our rookies our eggs are the Sunamons, and we're only running 4, and we'll talk about that in a second. But your turn, once per turn, when you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, you get to draw another card. So just that additional cycle, and pretty much makes up for the card that you're losing anyways. So that's very, very nice. And obviously, like, these don't have to be like the card that it's in the stack that's trashing it. It's just when you trash a card in your hand. So if you have 2 of these, if you have like 2 of these underneath cards and like one of your other cards do it, these both proc from that, which is nice. And I am only running 4, and based on my own experience, you always want to see Sunamon. Demi-Meramon is just not good enough. Honestly, you do not want that trash effect. And being able to use Sunamon for that is great. And just once again, we don't get to see all of our eggs most games. I haven't had a time where I've like, man, I wish I've had 5 eggs since playing this list. Especially since we're usually finishing the game by being very aggressive. we mill out, honestly. We just draw so many cards. Zort just mills a lot of cards from our deck too. And we just have a lot of like Lady Devimon filters through a lot. We do a lot of digivolving, especially since this can digivolve on top of for one, and like the extra draw you get from playing it from your trash or just playing it from stuff is very, very good. And so I don't find that we need 5. If you want to add a 5th one, go for it. But I do just like the consistency of Pseudomon, and I don't know. I've been I think promoting for a long time that if you just want to see your cards, and if you're kind of more mid-range aggressive deck, you can just have 4 eggs, and I don't think it's a big issue. And then going from there, we are going into Zwart. And honestly, this list started as like a Lilithmon list because I do like the archetype and the deck itself. But after playing it, I think Titamon just is way more flexible, especially since you do get the security attack +1, so you can be aggressive with it. And being able to play your dudes. This can, once again, for 3, you can get into this and you can go from there. So you can gain memory. It's different setup, right? You either have Jack Raids, and Jack Raids can carry you with Lilithmon, or you can do Titamon. So that's kind of nice. And then Zwart is just a big boy. And the good thing about Zwart, too, is that he can also play these promotes. And this is huge for what you're doing, because even if you don't find your Mega Digimon Fusion and only have like Jack Raids or something, you can Jack Raid up. You can use Zwart to play a promote, and this promote's going to get you an extra memory as well. And if you can keep doing that, if you can do like 2 promotes, which isn't terribly difficult with this deck, then you can just gain, like you can Digivolve into this for 4, and then you get 2 swings. And this can swing, and this can pop something. Like, it's a lot of value, a lot of pressure all at once, and I think can help you win some games. And honestly, that's the big thing. Like, when I was playing Lilithmon, sure, I could swarm the board and make like 6 bodies on it, but all of them were just frail single attackers that weren't swinging that turn, right? Kinkuamon promote can rush, it can swing. You can even do like Omnimon Zort, play Kinkuamon promote, swing into it, it dies, and then go into a Titamon on top of the level 5 that you played. And then you can play Kinkuamon promote again, and then you can swing with it again if you still have enough memory. Like, it's insane how much memory and everything you can get. Once again, if you get the full effect with this, you can get 2 memory off this. 1 for playing it, and then 1 for swinging with Kinkuamon's discard and Kinkuamon's thing. And once again, if this dies and comes back, both of these effects refresh, which is really, really nice. So that's kind of the idea of it. We are running 2 Viomon. I like Rebellion. I think this card is really, really neat, and being able to put Retaliation on it, it gives it for the turn. So you can Digivolve into here, and then you can go into Titamon. And the Titamon still has Retaliation and still has Blocker, which can be kind of nice for what you're doing. And that's really, really nice for them. Their rookies are pretty self-explanatory. You don't need like a bunch of them. I'm only running, I believe, 14. Yeah, I think this is fine. Gazimon's really, really important right now. I think I need to bump this up. And Impmon's cute for what it's doing. You can pick up a Lilithmon, but I think Gazimon needs to be at 4. But here is the list I ran. And then we're also running, obviously, Mega Digimon Fusion and Takumi. And I think Takumi is not a 4-up anymore. I really thought, like, BT5, it was really necessary since Rookie Rush was so good. And maybe Rookie Rush is going to come back. And, once people stop expecting it, it'll make a resurgence. And that's probably fine. But I think 2 is fine. The additional draw that this card gets is nice, because we do have a lot of specific pieces and everything else. But I do think we get hurt more than help with the rookie part of it as well. So I do think this needs to maybe go down as well. So this is the list I ran outright. And going into my kind of second revision of it, we got this one here. And so the first, I think, big card for it is Blackwork Raumon. And I don't know if I'm just like a hipster about it, but I think this card is really okay. I don't know. I feel like it's a trap sometimes. But with the kind of archetype and list that this has kind of devolved into, I think this is really necessary for what we're doing. Being able to give one of your big boys a second swing is way more important than having like one of your little guys being able to get another swing, especially since we have so many ways to get security attack +1 now. It's just worth it. And something else that I find with this deck a lot is, especially since these are most of our level 4s, when you're trying to set up your drop area for your, to have one of each of these, essentially, it's somewhat, you'll usually find that you're in a spot where one of them is underneath one of your level 5s or level 6s, and it's stuck there until you can get out of it. So being able to use the Digiburst to get them into your drop area is great, especially so, like, let's say you put this in your raising area, you raise it, you use this effect, you play a rookie from it, and then after that, you also get the Kinkuamon or Kinkuamon that you're missing there. You go to Titamon, you can use this effect, you can play the promote, you can get the effects off, and everything. Like, it's all just good looping, and I think it just makes it better. And once again, being able to have the inheritable to restand something to be able to swing again when we have Titamon that has security tech +1, and I think Tiamat is worth it in this deck too to get that additional security tech +1 with Swart. This is it's still a pretty big boy. You can get rid of it with effects, but it's not as easy as it used to be. I don't know. It's fine. It's a good card for what it does, and it can do a lot of damage. That security tech +1 can do a lot for you, and I think it's a good effect for it. So I like Tiamat for it, and it can get you some extra memory too. Obviously, it's a little bit more expensive, and that's fine. But sometimes I find like there's, especially against security control. Against security control, I'll find myself saying, they gave me too much memory. I don't know I don't want to overcommit to it. I don't know what to do. A Tiamat would be really great here. And I think the other thing to that as well, we go take out a Rebellion in general to add a third one of these, since we took out the Skull Greymons, which honestly, this is a neat card, but didn't do much for our list specifically. Both these cards are great for digivolving in the battle area, but they just are suboptimal if you're digivolving in your raising area. So Black War Greymon gets around that. This card is fantastic for digivolving in your raising area, just because you want to raise it afterwards, do its digiburst, and digivolve on top of it from there. I think that you'll just make it a little bit better and more consistent for what you're doing. And on top of that, I think if you want to do, I don't know, I think one Mega Digimon Fusion is fine. I always go back and forth. If you want 2 swords, 3 swords, if you want 2 tamers, 4 tamers, 3 tamers, how many Jack Raids, how many Mega Digimon Fusions? In general, I think we want, 3 Jack Raids, 1 Mega Digimon Fusion, and 3 tamers is probably fine. Maybe 3 and 1. I just find like Jack Raids are more flexible in general, and with the Kinkuamon promotes and everything, you can still just hard cast into the Swart and still keep it your turn without too much effort sometimes. So I do appreciate that, especially Lilithmon can make it very easy, since Lilithmon can gain 4 memory by herself. So and then if you go into Swart and you have 2 promotes there, then you've got gas. So I think that's good in its own right as well. And so I think a 3rd Jack Raid is good, and it has a good security effect too, and everything else. And so I'll probably take out a Mega Digimon Fusion for Jack Raid. I don't know. Have your own, test it yourself, see what you guys like, and go from there. I like Mega Digimon Fusion, it's good when you see it when you need to, but sometimes it's just not there anyways. So I don't know. And I think like going forward too, I think win rate 60%, which we're getting in the expansion set, and Analog Boy, I think this is going to replace Takumi pretty quickly. If not played aside it, if I don't like Man Tai after more testing. But I think this is a pretty good list. I've been enjoying the archetype in general. It is definitely a big brain kind of combo list. So if you kind of like what that playstyle is, and you like kind of having like a lot of plays and being able to go through your combo and go through that, it feels good. It feels like you can sometimes just be undefeatable, and it's just great. I like the deck. I like what it does, and it feels good when it works. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know about your ratios for your own list of this, what you think about this, and I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it.